Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Stubbs, and welcome to another episode of the Stubbs Show. I thank you guys for joining me again here for another live segment. Where I'm here to encourage you, I'm here to motivate you, and I'm here actually to push you off that cliff today to take that leap of faith into your goals, your dreams, and the things that you are ambitious about. So I thank you guys for joining me again, and I am ready for you to have a great show. But before we get started, I just wanted to say that internet, that world wide web is a trip. I was searching over some things and I said, everyone is going through something in life. And many times it be our own fears and the things that are in our own mind that's stopping us from taking that leap of faith or helping us to do those crazy things. And I was like, there's really a mental health issue going on all across the world. And while we are worried so much about the war, I'm like, the real war is going on within the mindset of people. It's fighting you against so many things. And that's why it was so important for me to have a show like I'm hosting on today, which is about faith over fear, because many times we'll look at our situations, we'll look at what our eyesights are showing us around us, what our perspective is saying, and shut down, isolate, give up, give in, give out. And many times we just need to change our perspective a little bit, change how we think about things, and lean more on our faith. You know, faith don't feel good, do it? You'll be going through some stuff and you'll be like, I got this $300, and faith says to donate this to this organization or give this person 200 of it, and I know I need groceries, I got to bill this due, maybe a cell phone bill. You're like, how am I going to do this? But when we walk by faith and you are obedient to your faith, when you do that, take that leap and make that donation or give or whatever it is that you're doing, and you do it out of what you will call your fear, you're actually taking your faith to a next level, because you're going to learn in many of those processes that when you leap, it's already the blessing waiting to pick you up. So to catch you, you're not going to fall. You just need to push yourself off that cliff. So that's what today's show is all about. I see that my guests are in the studio. Listen, it's always some technical difficulties going on. And this time it was actually StreamYard. So I'm blaming it on them. I'm not taking the blame this time. So StreamYard had some issues. I was running behind, but we're here, and that's most important. You're here, and I thank you for joining me. Now remember, you guys, like and share and comment. Like, share, and comment. That's what I need you to do for this next hour and for right now. Like the post, reshare it out, and tag a few people and tell them to watch, because it's time for taking our leap of faith and faith over fear. So let's get ready to welcome my guest to the show, my first guest to the show. I have two for you guys on today. Look at me giving you guys something extra. Blessing you with something great. But my guests on tonight really have testimonies to share, and they are walking in their faith and had to actually lean on it. So let me get to the intro. Let's get my guest on for today. All right, you guys, I'll be right back. Meet my guest, Nicole Hicks, also known as Coach Nicole. She is a certified biblical life coach and the founder of Faith Over Fear Biblical Life Coaching, where she challenges women to stop living in fear and start walking boldly in faith. Her message isn't just something she teaches, it's something she's lived. Through seasons of uncertainty, personal challenges, and moments where she didn't have clear answers, Nicole learned what it really means to trust God beyond feelings and circumstances. She discovered that faith isn't about having everything figured out, it's about making a decision to move forward with God even when it's uncomfortable. Nicole is also the author of The Heaven Team, A Child's Guide to Love, Laws, and Heaven, written under her pen named Nicole Grace, where she helps families have honest, faith-filled conversations about grief. Let's welcome her to the show. Hello, hello, and welcome to the Stubbs Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect, perfect.
How are you? How's your day going?
It's going good. Thank you. And thank you for that introduction. I was like, is that about me?
It
Uh,
was. It
oh my
was.
goodness. Did I really do all that?
You
But yes,
did.
thank you. I'm so honored to be here. Anytime I'm invited to sit on someone's platform, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share not just my story, but also to be welcomed into your community. So thank you so much for having me on the Stubbs Show tonight.
Well, thank you for joining us. And where are you joining us from? Let the
I'm
people
in the
know.
DMV, so shout out to the DMV area. If anybody's in that DC, Maryland, Virginia area, that's where I'm coming from tonight.
All right, guys. So you guys can, if you're in that area, you can slide in her DM for the right reasons, and connect with her. So I'm connecting you guys in the DC, Maryland, and Virginia area with someone who can assist you with pushing you off that cliff and into your faith from out of fear. So let's get this interview started. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's just let it flow. We're gonna have an open conversation about your leap of faith. Now, your business was birthed from an illness.
Hmm.
Can you please tell us more about that and how it inspired you to help other people to take their leap of faith?
Absolutely. So 2024, which really wasn't that long ago, sounds like it, but it's not, right? I went through a very difficult and dark medical season. I was literally, one day I was away in New York enjoying my birthday on Broadway with family. And the very next day, I remember looking my husband in the face and saying, I feel life leaving my body. I have no idea what has happened, what's wrong with me, but life is leaving my body. Take care of our daughter. And that kicked off literally a year long of medical problems. I went through everything from chronic insomnia, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, just all different types of things that occurred. I ended up in a mental health facility with some treatment for a while. It ended up being my thyroid. But in the middle of all of that, what everyone kept telling me to do was just pray about it, it'll get better. And I was born and raised in the church. That sounded like the right thing to do. Let's just pray about it. This is a spiritual attack. Let's just get on our knees and everything will be fine. But guess what? I prayed about it, but it didn't get better right away. And it wasn't that God didn't want to heal me. It wasn't that he didn't want to do everything that the Bible says he can and will do. The problem was with me. The problem was with me because I was a person, very type A personality, career driven. I felt like I can control this. I can fix this myself. It's on my timeline, not God's. But really, what was wrong with me was I was so used to controlling everything, and my faith was not where it needed to be. We say that we believe that God can do all these things, but when he doesn't do it in the way we want, in the time we want, then our faith wanes. It falls back. And then we start trying to do things to control the situation. So God allowed me to sit in that situation for longer than I wanted to so that I could become the coach that's sitting in front of you today.
You said a lot of good things right there, and that's so true because when we want something, we want it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, we want it. And I love that you brought up the fact that shout out to all the people in the church. There's nothing wrong when they tell you it's a spiritual attack and you got to pray it away. But at those moments, you're like, I prayed. I'm praying. I've been praying. It's not going away. It must be something else. And looking deeper into it. And we're going to get into the actions that it pushed you to do. But I'm
Right.
glad that you brought those things up because sometimes we need more than that. We need to hear more. We need that push. We need more than just getting on our knees and praying. We need those actions. And I'm so glad that you acknowledged that and brought that up. So let's just keep it going. Faith isn't easy. Walking by faith, especially when you're lacking support or an example of how to do it. What would you suggest to someone, that's thinking about taking that leap, but they're a little nervous and they're like, what they told me to pray about, what should I do next? And then we're going to get into the illness that you actually had.
Absolutely. So, one of the things that I teach throughout my coaching is that faith is a lifestyle. It's not a trend, it's not an accessory, it's something that you don't pick up and put down. It truly is a lifestyle. These glasses I have on, these are not for show. I can't go anywhere without these glasses, okay, sis? So, the same way, the first thing I do in the morning before after I talk to God is put these on, or I can't do anything. I cannot accomplish anything that my day is set out to do. I can't be whoever I'm supposed to be, play the roles I'm supposed to play throughout the day, because I literally can't see. That's how your faith has to be. You should be putting it on every single day before you go out into the world. The Bible tells us we are in the world, but not of the world. And so you've got to put that on to be able to face whatever it is that the world is going to throw at you. But what we do, we treat our faith as though it's conditional. I'll put it on when it's comfortable for me. When this situation doesn't feel, too exhausting or too heavy, I'll put my faith on. But then when it doesn't go the way we think it should go, that's when we take it back off and we hang it back up in the closet. But the way to really get that faith to be where it needs to be is to be intentional about having faith in God. We do not have to have a whole gigantic amount of faith. I've got a little bottle here of Gatorade that I was drinking before I got on this. You do not need to have this much faith. The Bible is very clear. We only need about a mustard seed, which if you could see between my fingers is about that amount. If you can start with that, just being intentional every day, saying things like, God, I trust you. God, I don't know how it's going to work out, but I know that something's going to come through. I know that you're not allowing this to harm me. God is not sitting up in heaven coming up with ways to torment us. I know it feels like it sometimes, but I promise we're not video game characters to him. He's not coming up with scripts and plots to make us miserable. But remember that the only way to have that faith that those greats in the Bible had when they were tested is to be intentional about seeking God every day and seeking out faith. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I would say you came in with a bang. You came in bringing it. You started the show off very well. I'm loving it. You getting my energy up. We're
Good.
getting ready to take a quick break, and when we come back, you guys, we're going to actually get into her illness, what happened, and what led her into starting her biblical life coaching brand. So you guys don't go anywhere. We are actually getting ready to take a quick break here on the Stubbs Show. Remember, if you have music, you have a commercial that you're looking for to get spaces to play it, come on. Inbox me, shoot me an email at the LOF Network. We have space for it. But let's get ready to take a quick break. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Let's go back and do a quick rewind of what's been going on in the Stubbs Show, and then we're going to come right back. Is that the one? There we go. Need to get this show started.
Unique. Blessing on blessings. I got strength from my God and I'm flexing. God got me, do I look like I'm stressing? I ain't just slide from different directions. I guess the devil ain't getting the message. Are you wondering I ain't got no preference? Guess they ain't know we protected. Catch me slip, my God slide. Never man, I'm alive. Rested in peace, my pride died. Like a big dot on my side. Who need investment, you got his protection. When you was child, it ain't no neglection. Lost in the wild to give you direction. Remember them days, he was building my faith, cause I was just feeling like August. I remember nights, it was cold in the winter. I shoot the mess on the chill like a winter. Soul is on fire, he gave me the ember. Blessed been falling like snow in December. I just put Christ in the center. Eat a big man like he played for the Wizards. Blessing on blessings. I got strength from my God and I'm flexing. God got me, do I look like I'm stressed? I ain't just slide from different directions. I guess the devil ain't getting the message. Are you wondering I ain't got no preference? Guess they ain't know we protected. Blessed, I'm blessed You know that we tell like a dread. You know that I could've been dead. But you ain't heard what I said. If it wasn't for blood that he shed, I could've had done as a bad. I could've been down at the fence. I praise him for all that he did.
Letting me up like he a bob, but making a path a little bit smaller. Look at my God, seeing the drive, taking the wheel like he a child and lean on him. He gave me the ropes, making the plays. He be the coach. Wisdom, my guy, that gave me some.
Hey, what's up, you guys? I just want to let you know that I am seeking book authors to become a guest on our show. Now, it was Instagram Live, but now we're on all three platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So, this is your way to grow and reach more people. Don't forget to email us at the LOFnetwork at gmail.com. And you can become a guest on the show and also have your book placed within the show. All right, you guys, I look forward to hearing from you soon. All right, you guys, welcome back to the Stubbs Show. Remember, we are on all those platforms, so make sure you are subscribing, liking, and following on whichever one that you are on. And remember, you can also leave your comments in the comment section, and we can see them here. Shout out to Be Inspired for Real. They said amen to what you were preaching, my sister. So we're getting ready to get back into our interview with Coach Nicole, coming to you from Faith Over Fear, Biblical Life Coaching. I have her information if you want to follow her on Instagram in the comment section, and I'll be putting it up on the screen. But when we left, we were talking about basically taking that leap of faith. And when you first started, you talked about how an illness helped you to birth the business that you have. So let's get more into that. When you were ill, what was the one thing that you begin to do daily to build your faith and to get you up to take that leap of faith towards your vision? Because so many times when we're down and we're sick, we don't feel like it. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, so I would definitely say there were a few things. One, I ended up aligning myself with someone that I feel like knew more about this than I did. And I think that's something that we take for granted. If everybody in your circle is on the same level spiritually, no shade to the friend group, right? Because it's important to have a friend group and a community of people that can push you spiritually. But if everybody's on the same level, sometimes when trials come, you need someone that's a little bit more educated, if you will, or maybe has fought a little more trials than you have to give you that instruction. So I have a beautiful cousin. Shout out to Elder April Falcon. When I got sick, I aligned myself with her on a daily basis. And she literally told me, it's hands up. You got to understand the enemy takes no days off, so you can't either, right? And she would just kind of tell me that, hands up, Nicole, hands up, Nicole. And so that was the first thing. And then, of course, when you're sick and you can't sleep, what do? You get on social media, which sometimes can be good, sometimes not. But I ended up finding people who are actually in biblical life coaching. And I was like, I've never heard of that before. What is that? Ran from it a little bit. But, you know, when God wants you to do something, he will chase you down so that you do it. And so I ended up, again, shout out to Girl Open Your Bible. That is the group that I went through and was certified with. They are a beautiful pair of women, Sierra and Chastity. And I was able to work with them and go and sit and be tested. And that's where Faith Over Fear was born. But the interesting thing about what was wrong with me, with my thyroid, which I ended up having also removed, is that the number one risk of having a thyroid issue and having thyroid surgery is that when you come out of surgery, your voice, catch this now, your voice will be impacted. It's the number one risk because your thyroid is sitting right where your vocal cords are. So they told me as I'm signing my life away, you know, your voice, you may come out and you may not be able to speak like how you speak today. But the risk, of course, you know, to what I was experiencing, you know, was great. You know, me keeping the thyroid would have been worse. So we had to outweigh that. But when I came out the surgery, I sounded just like I sound right here on the show today. And so what that taught me was the enemy was after my voice. He knew that if he could take me out, if he could wear me down, I would not become Coach Nicole or the author that is here on the show today. And so that's why I say God is always working in mysterious ways. He was able to allow me to become a little bit broken so that he could build me back up so that my voice would not be touched, but I would be healthier to go on and encourage women today.
Yeah, that's something I was just talking with someone about how the enemy attacks what we love, or he tries to use someone to attack us in a place so that we can't walk in our God-given gift to do what we need to do. But even outside of religion, just having that faith, you need faith no matter, what you study. If you have a religion, if you're spiritual, or you just have your non-denomination, you need to have some type of confidence and faith in someone around that has been through more than you to push you. And many times we see people going through stuff and we like, oh, that must be bad karma, or, they must have did this and did that, but not understanding that growth comes from going through attacks and facing them and learning not to fight, not to cuss someone out, not to quit. You got to learn to push forward. And that's where you were saying that your cousin, shout out to that cousin that got us to Coach Nicole, that was pushing you and saying, you might be sick, but you got to use that voice. You got to get it back to where it needs to be so that you can grow. So with your business, you help a lot of women to get over their fears and grief. Tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So I do exclusively coach women. It's just, where I feel led to encourage and to support.
Oh, fellas, I'm sorry.
Sorry, fellas. Maybe one day.
She's going to coach your wife and your girlfriend.
Yeah, I will get them to I'll get them together for you. But no, really though, as women, we carry so much. We carry a lot of battles and trials, and in particularly fears that we don't talk about. Some of those fears are rooted in lies that we have told ourselves from childhood, or things that people told us. Because if you don't remember who you are, who the Bible says you are, who God says you are, you allow the world to then determine and tell you who you are. And as women, that happens way too frequently, especially Black women or women of color. We are always reduced to what the world tells us. But we forget that we are daughters of the King. We are royalty in the highest form. And so what I do is work with women, typically who are battling insecurities, fears. It could be something traumatic that's happened to them. Chronic illness is another big one, grief, and then loneliness. Loneliness is one that I really see a lot, because you could be surrounded by a whole group of people and still feel lonely, or don't feel like you have a community, or don't feel like you have people that will show up for you, even though you show up for them every time they need something. So that's really what I do, is help them to identify what's holding you back, what's stopping you from making a change. What are you so afraid of? Right? Knowing who you are in Christ. What are you so afraid of? Stop trying to handle it your way. Let's give it over to God and do it his way. And then that's how we move from fear to faith.
Ooh, you coming in like a firecracker. I'm telling you, you dropping them for us. You are dropping them for us. Everything that we need to hear. And and like you said, as women, we carry a lot and we show up. It's just in us to show up, especially our Black and brown women. We show up for our community, our family, our friends, and everybody else. And we don't always have people showing up for us. So you definitely hitting the hammer with the nail. So my next question is, you mentioned survival mode, helping women to get out of that survival mode. Explain that a little more, and how do you assist with that?
Sure. So I remember when I was going through to become certified, to become a life coach, and there was an exercise, excuse me, that I was doing, and it said, okay, write down everybody in your life that is important to you. Write down everybody that's on your priority list. And so we took about 5 minutes and we wrote everybody down. Then they said, okay, where are you on the list? Where are you on the priority list? And no one wrote themselves down. None of the women in the room, none of us put ourselves on the list. We wrote everybody, we wrote all the friends, the family, with the co-workers.
Yeah.
Even the people that don't like us that we are praying for, we put them on the list, but we ourselves were not on the list. And that's a lot of times what happens as women. We know we talk about, especially as mothers, we'll stay up later than everybody else, even though we're exhausted because we need an hour just for ourselves. At some point, we have to realize that is not what God has called us to do. Yes. If God said he can do and wants to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or imagine, sometimes he can't do that because we are not creating space for him to do that. How can he give you more than you can imagine when you can't even handle what's out here right now? Something has to go. It is not your job to save everybody, to fix everybody. That Jesus didn't even do that. That's the real tea. Clock that. Jesus,
Come on, I'm gonna get a tambourine or something. I gotta add a little jingle to the show for it. I'm telling you, you just dropping. I'm like, I need something to be chiming. I need ding sound or something. Somebody
right.
help me with some sound effects.
That was not in the job description when you were born, to take on everybody's problems and help everyone. And then you do that and you leave nothing for yourself, and you keep crying out to God, being upset with him because he's not moving in your life, but you're not creating space for him to move. And so that's what we have to break down is sometimes, catch this now, you have to be okay disappointing people. You have to be okay saying no. You have to be okay saying, I don't have the capacity. No is a complete sentence. And stop saying, unfortunately, while we're at it. It's not unfortunate. I just don't have the capacity. I'm not available. I don't have the money. My mind is not there. That's not necessarily unfortunate. It is just, I cannot do it.
Listen, and that will be the new thing for if I even catch myself saying unfortunately, I'm gonna remember what you said. I'm gonna tame it up. I'm gonna say no. It's just no. It's not unfortunate. No, complete sentence, exclamation mark sometimes, and no with a couple of them. I like that because we feel so bad about saying the word no, especially to our children, our friends, and our close knit family. It's like I don't want to say no. I want to help you, but do you have the time? And like you said, we weren't created to take on but so much. That's why heart attacks happen. That's why things of that sort happen. Oh my God, you on fire, girl. But listen, we got to bring our next guest on soon. So I'm getting ready to take another break. Would you say?
I was going to say one more thing to you is that we just cannot be more concerned with how people are going to look at us than God is going to look at us. So if whatever we're doing is going to be out of alignment and we're not going to have any room for God, then we have to take inventory there.
I'm telling you, said a lot. You guys, we're getting ready to take a break. My next guest, he's coming on. He's waiting in the back studio to come on in. So we're going to get ready to end this interview in a few. But he's going to put that whip on you and tell you, you know what? She already told you what you need to hear. Now I'm going to push you even more, and I ain't taking no slack. So we're getting ready to take a quick break and come right back here on the Stubbs Show. Let me tell you guys, I am loving this. You guys, I am seeing the comments come in from Facebook. So if you are on YouTube and Instagram making comments, I'm getting ready to check as we get ready to go into a break. But if they're not coming up on the screen, then it's because there is my fault some way, somehow. But I'm going to check and we'll be able to read them off. Remember, you guys, she's on Instagram as well. And let me tell you what that is. It was on the screen. I put it up. It's Faith Over Fear Coaching. So you guys make sure you follow her. Shout out to Mr. Reynolds who chimed in, who says called self-care. And that's what he's going to be talking to you guys more about when we get back right here on the Stubbs Show. Once again, you guys, I thank you for joining me. Let's take this quick break and we come in right back here on the Stubbs Show. I'm hyped. She done got me, or she done took us to church for a minute, didn't she? How's you guys? Welcome back to the Stubbs Show. I hope you guys are enjoying this interview with Coach Nicole. Remember, you guys, go to her Instagram and follow her right now. Also, make sure that you like and share this interview right now and comment. We want you as part of the conversation. Come on and join in. We will respond and we'll put it up. So I thank you guys for joining. We're getting ready to end our interview with Coach Nicole. I might have to bring her back. I might need a little more extra time with her. She's special. She's special. You heard me, girl. Special in a good way. Special in a good way. Special in a good way. She's special. I'm telling you, she was hitting that fire, and she might want to talk about some things specifically for us women, because the community is going haywire, and she might could say some things that I can't say, or I'm not going to say, or don't know how to say appropriately. I could bring her on for that. Yolanda Kendrick said, great point, not adding yourself first. We got to break out of that. I am not overextending myself. I did it enough and I am tired. Black woman of many things going on in the world with my family and also myself. I'll put the rest of the comment up. Thank you for your comment. Thank you guys for chiming in. So let's get back into this interview, get ready to end it out for today. So first of all, let the people know how they can connect with you, why they need to connect with you, and if you have any upcoming events that they need to be marking their calendar and show up.
Absolutely. So Faith Over Fear, Biblical Life Coaching is on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And YouTube. We just added this week. So if you are on any of those platforms, again, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, you can follow along with me or connect with me on any of those platforms. Links are in all of my bios for you to be able to schedule a free discovery call if you'd like, just to see what one-on-one coaching was like. I also offer master classes and workshops. I have a lot of things in the works for the summertime. So definitely follow me on all social media platforms so you can stay up to date on everything that is coming with Faith Over Fear, Biblical Life Coaching. And then, of course, I can't go without shouting out the Heaven team real fast. But as she mentioned, I am a children's book author. And so I am also the author of the Heaven Team, A Child's Guide to Love and Loss in Heaven, because how do you explain heaven to a child? This book was also birthed out of my family's personal loss. And so it follows the story of Skylar and Noah. And through the death of Noah's grandmother, they discovered together what heaven is and what the Heaven team is, which of course is that group of angels that comes and helps you transition very peacefully into heaven. And then we know that our furry friends are also a part of the family. So very, very new. We just dropped the Heaven team. When a pet goes to heaven, Skylar and Noah are back, but you will also meet Skylar's dog, Max. And this takes us on the story about Skylar's dog, Max. So if you are interested in picking up any of those, they are widely available on Amazon. You can get them on Prime shipping. And make all of those a part of your family. You can also follow along. The Heaven Team book is also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Again, the Heaven Team book and Faith Over Fear, Biblical Life Coaching. Those are the things that we have going on right now. So follow along to see what we have coming in the summertime.
I also added your email to the screen, faithoverfearsis@gmail.com. She's a book author. She's a coach. And she's many other things. Sounds like she's a preacher. I don't know. Are you a minister too?
Ooh, you're trying to speak that over my life.
I don't know. Was that your confirmation? I don't know. I mean, I heard.
No, I will say I don't know. It is something I have been praying on. There have been a couple people that have said that to me. God has not shown me that clearly yet, but wherever he calls, I will go.
Well, thank you for your sermon that you gave us on today. I can't let you go without leaving us with something special. Just off the whim of the top of your head, what is something that you would like to leave us with? When it comes to faith over fear, what is something you like to say to someone who's listening that may be fearful right now of taking that leap?
I'm gonna say it in 60 seconds or less. My favorite Bible story is Noah, the story of Noah and Noah's Ark. There are 3 reasons that's my favorite Bible story. Number 1, Noah was not a carpenter when God told him to build the ark. He did not know what a screwdriver was. He didn't know what a nail was. He didn't have any experience in any of that. But God gave him everything that he needed to build the ark that was going to take care of this next generation. Number 2, it had not rained in a very long time when God told Noah to build the ark. They were in a drought. The entire world is laughing at him. You're building an ark that you don't even know how to build, and it hasn't rained. Why would you even build this thing? But Noah was obedient to God and did that. And number 3, the ark did not have a steering wheel. Again, the ark did not have a steering wheel, which means that whatever was going to happen, God was in full control, and he was going to make sure that no matter what the storm brought, no matter what the flood brought, God steered them the entire way. And that is how we have to approach things when God asks us to do things, when difficult decisions happen, trials happen. You do not need a steering wheel. All you need is faith over fear.
Let me tell you guys, I had so many other questions and things that I wanted to ask, but I always just let the show flow. And I'm glad that I did, because it seems like the people are chiming in and they logging on. Y'all must have been sharing, you guys, and I thank you for it. And I thank you for the first sermon that you brought us on the Stubbs show, because let me tell you, you opened this show up, and I'm glad that you came first. You know, the opening, and the person that's coming right behind you gonna close it properly. So God lined that up for me. I didn't know how to do it, but I was looking, and I said, but you know what, ladies first. So I brought you on first, and then we bring in the male next to close things out for us and straighten things up. The woman comes and we talk and we get everything in order. The man comes and he firms it and makes sure everything goes the way it needs to go. So I thank you so much for joining me here on the Stubbs Show. We had a great time. I hope that you continue to have a good rest of your day. Be blessed, and I hope that you get abundance of people that flood your email and your DM and want to connect with you, and that God continue to bless you to take leaps of faith and continue to push others to move out of their fear. I thank you for joining me on my platform today.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great night, everyone.
All right. We're going to keep this show moving along. Oh, was that not a powerhouse for us? Listen, you guys owe me. I blessed you today. Let me tell you, open up the show with fire, and we're getting ready to close it with more fire. He's coming to put fuel to the flame. So my next guest, let me just get into his intro. How about that? Let me just put his intro up on the screen, and it would tell you everything that you need to know. Remember, you guys, I'm always looking for music. I'm looking for commercials. The show is continuing to grow, and you could be a part of it. Add your commercial or have your music played. And remember, every time that someone shares this show, your information to be showed. So come on and join me. All right, welcome my next guest. Meet Dr. Angelo Reynolds. Dr. Reynolds has over 35 years of experience working in the human services and educational arenas. Angelo began his career working as a Metropolitan D.C. police officer, where he served for 5 years. In 1998, he decided he needed a change and began working in the educational arena. He's worked as a peer mediation specialist, working with severely emotionally disturbed students, a training facilitator for clients released from prison who were looking to re-engage in the workforce, and an adjunct professor at Bowie State University, where he taught undergraduate psychology classes for 5 years and also taught educational leadership at the University of Maryland Graduate School for 2 years. Dr. Angelo helps people overcome life's toughest setbacks, including trauma, addiction, loss, and life transitions, and rebuild with confidence, resilience, and purpose. He does this through speaking, transformational training, workshops, coaching, and his proven mindset tools from the Transformers Academy. Let's welcome Dr. Reynolds to the show. I had to unmute your mic and mine. Welcome to the Stubbs Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, but thank you so much for having me. And thank you for the wonderful, beautiful sister who gave us such an inspirational of hope, and her knowledge relating to what she does. It was amazing. So
Then
thank
she
you.
set the stage on fire.
Yes, she did. Yes,
She
she
set the
did.
stage right on fire, and you coming
Yes.
to follow it up and clean it up, make sure everything get the way it needs to be, because
Yeah.
you have that authoritative personality since you come from the police department.
Yeah.
Wow, you said 5 years and you had to get up out of there, huh?
Yeah, I had to take a shift. God was moving me as well. I didn't
You don't
know
want
it
to
at
go
the
back?
time. Yeah. No. No, those days quickly, that 5 years seemed like a long time, but it was enough time to get there and God to move me in some places where he brought me today. I didn't know at the time.
Yeah. So are you still local, like in the DMV area? You shipped
No.
out? Where you joining us from today?
Yeah, we're in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're right in the Delmarva area, which Rehoboth Beach is about 30 minutes from Ocean City. So we're in between Maryland, but in Delaware. Yeah.
Okay, well, you still, well, yeah, the DMV, the DC and Maryland people will get upset calling that part the DMV. So you're right,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in that part of Maryland.
I'm in
So
that part of Maryland. Yeah.
thank you for joining us. So let's go ahead and get
Yeah.
into this interview. Are you ready?
Sure. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
today's show is all about taking that leap of faith, jumping into faith and leaping out of your fears. And
Yeah.
you had an experience and something that happened in your life which propelled you to start your business, the
Yeah.
Transformers Academy LLC, and start
Yeah.
helping other people with things such as addiction, taking their leap of faith, building their business. So what was that experience that made you take that leap of faith? What happened?
So a couple of things, but I'll go back about 2 decades when I was convicted as a felon. I was in business for myself, and then through education and training, I was a psychologist, and I was providing clinical therapy services to children and adolescents. And what happened to me was something that people call a blind side, or you can call it a victim of circumstance. And I got into business with some people unknowingly what they were doing, and so I ended up being convicted as a felon and had to spend a year of house arrest. And so for 7 years, I couldn't work. I lost my business. I lost my ability to practice. I lost my license. And then with that conviction, I couldn't work until I got off of probation, but it ended up going into about 7 years. And during that time, there was a number of things that I developed: alcoholism, drug addiction, and all those things that sometimes trauma causes people as they try to heal, but it becomes combative. And for me, the trauma had stemmed into a position where I didn't really know how to combat, how to heal. So I resorted at that time to drugs and alcohol.
You're not alone on that, because that's the first medicine that a lot of people go to, the drugs and the alcohol, for self-healing, self-medicating themselves, and it's numbing to the feeling. So what was that moment? What happened to wake you up to say, I got to get out of this? Like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, well, my grandmother was the core of God. She taught us about God. She taught us about how to pray. She taught us how to, when things get really rough, you have to turn to God. And so I had been praying since I was about 8 or 9 years old. I was abused as a child, so I had early childhood trauma early on. And so this thing that happened a couple of decades ago just kind of coincided with the trauma in the past. And so one thing that I realized, I said, okay, you're going to have to, at some point, get yourself out of this rut. How do we get to a position where the trauma is there, but you bring yourself into a position where it's manageable and has to be treated so that you can heal? So I just knew that at some point I was either going to self-destruct, or I was going to try to find the avenues in which I could cultivate myself, bring myself into a position and bring myself back to the person who I really was. Because I actually lost myself. And my grandmother used to always say all the time, she said, God will never leave you nor forsake you. And it was those times and those moments where I felt like I had no one to turn to, that I had to turn to him. Sometimes we get forced to turn to God. Even though we know we can go to him, sometimes the situations actually force us and drive us to get to him. So I just used to get on my knees, and for a long time I prayed, and asked God to heal me, take the alcohol and drug from me, and realized that one day after praying, I woke up and it was gone. I looked in the mirror and I said, no longer will I desire a drug or alcohol. And figuratively speaking, it wasn't that quick. I mean, it took a longer time than I had anticipated. And your guest said earlier, she said, God's timing is always the best timing. And we don't understand it, nor did I understand it, but it was not for me to understand in that moment, but to have faith over the fear of self-destruction so that I could get back to who God really made me who I was.
Yeah, you right about that. Listen, it's in this time, and what you say is easier said than done.
Yes.
You say it didn't happen, but so quick, and now you're dealing with other people facing those walls because you brought up addiction, trauma, which brings on grief and other things, and it's hard for people to get out of those phases of the pain with all of those things going on. And that's why you speak a lot about resilience and clarity. So when you come across people who have past traumas, addictions, grief, all these things that they're dealing with, what's the first one or two things that you need them to understand to help them change their perspective to move out of that mindset?
Particularly with trauma, because some people think that trauma just goes away. Trauma never goes away. In fact, it resurfaces. And so what I try to get people to understand is, find out where you are, doing a self-assessment of where you are with your trauma, and to learn effective coping skills. The key is coping skills, because coping skills helps you set up the firewall for peace, and it sets up a platform for you to manage it. And so what happens out of trauma becomes, some people become with the addiction, the mental health is coincided with that, and also the recovery. It's all coincided together. That's why we call it trauma, addiction, mental health, and recovery, because they're all intertwined together. One cannot survive without the other. One has to be treated along with the other.
I feel like I'm in church right now, and I'm trying to type everything up and listen and get it typed up for the screen. You guys are dropping those gems and jewels and things that people need to understand, especially when they're leaping out of their fears and into faith. And I thank you, for even telling some of your background, because that's not hard. And helping people now is definitely not hard. I want to thank you for having the patience to do it. So let's dig into grief. Death is a tough thing to deal with, and many people will allow the grief to affect them and break them down. I'm trying to this stuff. What do you say to those people that feel as if their life is over due to losing a close loved one? And I'm talking about someone who have may lost a husband or a wife, and they're stuck in this grief. How do they get out?
So ironically, my grandmother passed in 2009. She was a piece of my soul, because she had molded me to be a person who was a God-fearing man who understood about the walk and what you have to do to stay connected to God. It was how I built my relationship. September the 7th of this last year, my mom passed, right? She was someone who had experienced even probably more trauma than I have, but she was grounded in spiritual principles. 6 weeks after my mom passed, my father passed. Someone who I didn't necessarily have a great connection or relationship, but he was my father. I also realized and understand and learned that he too had dealt with trauma. See, it's called intergenerational trauma. And what happens with intergenerational trauma is unknowingly passed down through generations, and it's not intentional, but it's the situation that's passed down. My grandmother herself, my mom, my dad, and everybody experienced trauma, be it addiction, be it mental health, and the ability to recover or self-destruct was always in the forefront. And so what I tell people who are experiencing great losses, number one is you got to connect with God. You have to ask for the strength. You cannot do it alone. One loss is no greater or less than the other. And when you lose someone, like I lost my grandmother, a piece of my soul and my heart left me. So I know at that moment, my grandmother said, boy, when you don't have nowhere to go, you turn right, you turn left, you get on your knees and you ask for strength. And God will give you the strength to overcome and heal during your grieving process. Trust me and believe me, it's not a sales ticket, it's real.
Listen, it ain't a sales ticket, it's real. And ooh, we
Yeah.
probably can I might gotta bring you on to go deeper into that intergenerational trauma.
Yeah,
Nobody talks about trauma and grief being generational.
that's
They
right.
they don't look at how it affected grandma, now it affected mom and dad, and
That's
it
right.
was passed down to me.
That's
You
right.
know, we
Yep.
don't look at that. We just say, oh, I went through this in life and it caused me my trauma, but
Right.
that was a trauma that was passed down to you.
Absolutely.
Oh my God,
Absolutely.
this is good. This is good. We're
Yeah.
getting ready to take a quick break, you guys, here on the Stubbs Show. Let me tell you, I'm feeding you guys today. I know I am because I'm feeding me. And we'll get into one of the comments that was posted when we come right back here on the Stubbs Show. But let me tell you, this is good. Y'all make sure you share. Go on and share with those folks that need to hear it. All right, we're getting ready to take a quick break, and we will be right back here on the Stubbs Show with my special guest. All right, you guys, welcome back to the Stubbs Show. Remember, if you would like to have your music played, commercial, or become a guest, just shoot us an email at the LOF Network at gmail.com, and I'll put it over in the comment section, or just connect with me on Instagram at the_Stubbs_show. I thank you guys for joining me. Let me tell you, we're talking about faith over fear. And we were just talking about trauma with my special guest. And I wanted to discuss that because I know some people who have lost someone and they're stuck on that grief. So when he brought that up, I was like, wow, that's good. Also, before we get back into our interview, I want to give a shout out to Yolanda Kendrick, who's been commenting and said that trauma started in their life at an early age, and they fought these battles themselves. 8 years free for me. Their pain and they believe health helped to their. My pain and belief helped me to change and wake up. So as Dr. Reynolds said before we go, you gotta pray. You know, you gotta lean on your spiritual beliefs, and you gotta fight to get to where you are. So Dr. Reynolds, you are the founder and CEO of Transformers Academy. Tell us more about that and some of the services that you provide to help people.
Yeah, so the Transformers Academy provides trauma-informed care. In fact, we train the trainers. We train organizations, we train government entities, we train corporations, and we train them to set them up to be able to train the people that they serve, you know? So like right now, this year, the World Health Organization came out with its statistics about trauma and trauma events. And as of 2026, 70% of human people globally in the world have or will have a trauma experience. So that's 7 out of 10 people globally in the world will experience or have had a trauma experience. And so what does that do for us? It allows us to provide essential tools and those things necessary to manage them. I want people to understand trauma is not going to go away. It has to be treated. Like somebody having a disease of addiction, it's always in a recovery process. You're never fully recovered. You are managing and coping so that your lifestyle will prohibit you from self-destructive behavior. So what I want to tell people in the academy, we do that by workshops, we do one-on-ones. In fact, before we leave today, I want to give out freebies because right now we have this resilient mindset toolkit. And so I'm going to give you some information as we close out today. Book a call me up, and start working on the assessment part of your own trauma. But more importantly, what are your coping skills to manage it? That is the underlining piece to managing trauma, addiction, mental health, and going to the road to recovery.
I said we're going to ask maybe 1 or 2 more questions before the people that may got to leave at the 8 o'clock hour and want to connect with you right now. Please let them know how they can connect with you on social media, your email. I'll put his email up, you guys, and I'll put it up again. And I'll get to typing while he's talking.
So go to TikTok, Facebook, all the stuff, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that. Go to Dr. Angelo Reynolds. You'll see me there, see daily posts. But go to Transformers Academy, LLC.org, because that's where you're going to get the freebie. That's where you're going to get the toolkit for resiliency. And I'm going to give you something. I got a treat for you. I got some books and things that are available for you, but you got to reach out for me. But that's where you get a chance to see the assessment there, ask the questions, and be able to ask them, like, am I doing some of these things in my recovery period? Am I getting my mind set up for my healing and my loss? And what can I do to jumpstart those things, and we can help you with that. That's what we do at the academy.
All right. So you said that website is www.transformersacademyllc.org.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, look at me giving you guys gifts. Now you're getting blessed today. You're getting 2 blessed. It's like, no, I'm just joking. You're getting all these great gems, but you guys make sure you visit his website. And I'll put it up on the screen right now to get that free toolkit. And you know, you were saying you help like the trainers to be able to train. But you know what? I think this is also something for CEOs and supervisors. This is great right now for the workplace, because people are handling a lot of trauma at home, in the community, within their families, and they're taking it right to work, and they're putting that trauma and problems on other people. So you guys, if you want to treat your employees to something great, I think you can connect with him for a workshop, and also for yourself to be a better CEO, because we got some CEOs that's bringing trauma on folks because of what you call it, intergenerational.
That's right.
Trauma, intergenerational.
Unknowingly. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So you guys make sure you visit his website for that. But my next question is, why do you think so many people have a problem with releasing and getting out of, and letting go of their past traumas?
Fear. And not having the courage. They're afraid, embarrassment, not wanting to bring up hidden things that are past, dispositions that were so hurtful that you don't want to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, then you won't take the action. See, I had to talk about, like, my wife was the first person that I told that I was abused as a child. Didn't even tell my mom. And so if you're able to bring yourself to a point where you become not all the way fearless, but fearless enough to be able to be expressive, to talk about it. And many people don't begin to take the plunge and take the necessary steps because they're scared. Faith over fear, that's real. I mean, we can, just like your guest said, we can have all the faith in the world. We can have the belief system in the world. But that fear, we got to start letting go some of that fear, releasing some of that pain, and give yourself the opportunity to, watch this, protect your peace.
Yeah.
It is insurmountable. If you protect your peace, you begin to release the things that God has for you, and you can move in a direction of courage, faith, and all those things that will get you into a self-sustaining, manageable state to overcome your challenges.
Yeah. Facing that fear. Facing that fear. That's a hard
Yeah.
thing. Accountability.
Accountability.
Acknowledging, and like you said, it's talking about things that's embarrassing, and
Yeah.
sitting in it. You know what I think is the biggest thing sometimes is after you release, how do you deal with the fact that you released?
Yes.
The
Yes.
mindset.
Yes. Yes. The mindset, and also because remember, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Remember that growing up? I don't know how old you are, but they used to say the mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah.
And because we only spend 10% of our brain usage, the other 90% is wasted doing everything else but focusing on that 10% of productivity release, getting ourselves together, and wasting a lot of time doing self-destructive things, combating pain, going back to the past, reliving the past, not letting go, letting God, and doing all those things that seem to be impeding our flow of progress. It's difficult. It is not easy. I am not up here saying like, oh, all you got to do is 1, 2, 3. It's not a 1, 2, 3, but it's a step process of taking your faith over fear, but taking the necessary action so that you can overcome that fear.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you survived your past and your traumas and be able now to help others to get through those fears and face their trauma, because it's not, like you said, it's not easy, and it's hard. Now, quick question: do you do virtual sessions, or is it in person?
We virtual and in person. We just got two. We're going to be in Paris doing not in Paris, a virtual. They just booked me to speak at a conference in Paris.
Look at you.
In September. Listen to this. And we also are going to Boston and Miami in September, October. This is how it's, and I'm telling you this because it's not in a boastful manner.
You better talk about what that leap of faith did.
Yeah, I'm telling you what the need is and where we are with trying to deal with our trauma and our past. The world is like this. Please come help us. We all can do this together. So I just want to share that with people and let them know, yes, we do virtual, we do in person, we travel. So there's no limit on where we go. Yes.
Yeah. So, we have people listening all over the world. So if you would like to bring Dr. Reynolds to you, he can do it virtually. I put the website there again, transformersacademyllc.org. You guys go get your free toolkit. Go connect with him and sign up for those workshops. And let's get this trauma out the way, because you have a beautiful soul within you that's hidden in these dark places, and it's time to come out of that darkness, and you can speak with someone who has the experience. So I thank you for giving that. So as we get ready to end this interview, I can't let you go without leaving us with something special. What would you say to that person that's sitting in their traumas or their embarrassments and their fear, and they want to step out, but they just sitting there and they're watching today, but they still fearful? What do you want to leave them with?
If I can do it, you can. That's number one. Because number one, we all have a story. We all have experience, or we know someone who has dealt with trauma. You're not going to progress if you don't take the first step and leap. If you don't take the first step, you won't be able to take another step. Let go, let your past start to release and learn ways to deal with your trauma. Learn the coping skills, to deal with the past trauma. Get the professional help if you need it. Seek your ministry, seek your pastor, speak spiritual growth, draw closer to God. Learn what you can do as a person, and then the forces of the universe will find a way to help you heal and not take you backwards. Stop looking backwards, keep looking forward. Take your pain, turn it into passion, and make something. Turn that trauma into traction. Put that step forward and make sure you make something. Use your past as a catalyst. I wrote the books, and I'm just telling you now, I wrote The Act of Change. I wrote Overcoming the Obstacles, Beating the Odds, and I wrote A Transforming You, because all of these books was pain putting into recovery. You can do it too. So you got poets out there, you got artists, you got authors. Take your pain and put it down. Write about it so other people can do that. And you can do the same. I guarantee you, if I can do it, you can do it.
You have to give me one of those books, and
Absolutely.
I can read it, and we bring you back on.
Absolutely.
Can they get
Put your
the
email?
book?
Yes, put your address. I'll send it to you.
Okay, I ain't putting it on here. We had some guys showing up.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't.
Talking about now, I love to eat a good meal, but I don't need them knocking on my door.
No. Email my wife on the academy. Yeah, she got it. Yeah, she got
it. All right. So
yeah.
I'll email it to you.
Okay.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the Stubbs show and joining us. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. I hope that you connect with the people that need to connect with you. Yes. Let me tell you, trauma is so big in people's life right now. Yes. Addiction is so big in people's life right now.
Yeah.
You know, and just being able to have someone, and with the Stubbs show, I always like to bring people on that don't mind telling the story behind the glory, because a lot of times we see this person just boastful or looking pride and just like they're here and there, and they're not wondering why people are not connecting with them. But when you tell your story, when you break a little bit of you down and let people know I have the experience, they just gravitate right to you. And they right there. So when you say, I don't mean to be boastful, but we're going to be in Paris, we're going to be in Boston, then we showing up somewhere else. I was like, you share that leap of faith, because when those people connect with you and get that trauma and that grief up off of them, guess what? They're going to have the blessings following right behind them. So I thank you for joining us for the discussion of Faith Over Fear. You guys, once he gets me a copy, his wife shoots me that book, I'm going to read it up for you guys, put some pointers out there for us to talk about and bring them back on and talk specifically about whichever book they send me. So, just send me one, because, it's a lot to read. I get stuff all the time. So, I'm going to break it down and take my notes and bring them back on. But you have a blessed day. And
you too. Thank you so much.
Continue to spread the knowledge and the wisdom that you have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it was
thank you, everybody. God bless you. Take care.
All right now.
All right. Take care. Honor. Thank you.
Oh, you guys, I had a good time with Dr. Reynolds. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Listen, the Stubbs show is all about telling the story behind the glory, because so many of us are shut down, shut in, lost, and don't take our leap of faith, and because of what we see and what our perspective is, and not knowing that that person that you see all fancy and dressed up is that way because they took that leap of faith. They acknowledged, they held themselves accountable for the things that they needed to be accountable for, and they did the work. You gotta do the work. You got to pray. If you don't want to call it praying, call it meditating. You gotta read. Get his book. Get Coach Nicole books for your children. Start them off as babies. But you got to do the work to get to where you need to be. And there's blessings waiting for you on the other side of every storm. What they say, after the rain comes what? The rainbow. So on the Stubbs show, you guys come back next Monday. Listen, I want to be thankful that I took my leap of faith. Y'all see me had to do this. Will let you know, if you want to do my nails, you can get some credit for them. So no, but we're looking for everything, partnerships and sponsors. So if you want to do them, I can hit this all the time and you can have the nails done. But because of the growth, we have just picked up some, we're going to be picking up another day and adding on another day to the show so that we can keep you guys inspired. But I had a good time. I am full. I needed it because I was hungry. I was thirsty. I needed to be filled. My cup needed to be filled up, because the enemy is always trying to attack. When you get into walking by faith and you walking in your God-given gifts and talents, trust me, those attacks are going to come. And everybody around you may start talking about you, or may start saying, oh, well, she's going through this because of hell. And no, you're going through it because of growth. And as you continue to push in that new you can get everything that you need. All right, you guys. So we getting ready to get into my artist of the day. She's like family to me. Day. I just love her music, and especially this particular song. I might have to have her sing it to me on stage and we go live. I don't know, but all right, you guys. I thank you for joining. Remember, come back next week. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, The Stubbs Show. If you would like to be a guest, just inbox me. I'm looking for music. I'm looking for commercials. I'm looking for new guests. So connect with me. It doesn't matter where you are all over the world. We interview people all over the world. If you need me to come out, if you're local in the DMV area, or you want to fly me out to somewhere for your event, I'll be there. Also, you guys, make sure you don't forget to repost and share the show and tag SiriusXM, Radio One, and any other major platform that needs this type of show on, besides all the gossip and all the hoopla and hela of okey doke. All right, you guys, let's go on our break. I'm always going over. God, I'm gonna have to see if I get somebody to help me stay on. I need some help, y'all. So if you see the vision, you better jump in while it's new. Don't wait till it's too late. All right, we getting ready to end the show for today. This is my girl Day, singing what this world needs more of.
No.